Hello, everyone, and welcome to ATL Falcons UK. This week, we have tons of guests and one more waiting to get joined in a moment's time. It is Saints Week, so we've got Christian, James, Rob, Liam, and we have got Tricky waiting, so I'll get him in a second. Lads, how are you feeling about this week?
Quite confident, actually. I mean, I think it'll be a little harder in the sense that Jameis can throw deeper than Drew Brees, and we'll have to prepare for more possibilities, in my opinion, because Jameis is better with his legs as well. With Brees, you can pretty much expect a slant every play, every throwing play. Sorry,
Yeah.
aside from Alvin Kamara, of course. But I think it'll be harder. But I do feel confident with Jameis's constant errors and his unpredictability that will come away with the win.
I'm just looking forward to an interception machine playing and the defense actually looking good.
I'll take that. I will take that. Sorry, excuse my quietness a minute. I'm just trying to get Tricky on board, so I'll let Cal be the host at the moment.
So, Rob, any thoughts? Or we all know everyone's thoughts going into it, but what's your thoughts anyway? What do you reckon?
I think, like James has said, I mean, well, like Christian said as well, like Winston's got a good arm, and those deep players could be a threat. But like James has said, if he's going to come on and just throw loads of interceptions like he can, then we need to take advantage of that. It's going to be a tough game. It pains me to say it, but obviously they are a good team. But I think we are a better team than what we've shown so far this season. Like, we could easily be 6-3. I know it's all like ifs and buts, but we've thrown some games away. I think we are better than what we've shown. And this is like the perfect week for us to step up and like show how good we are.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's like what you said. We're not a 3-6 team at all. We know how the Saints are good. Like, they have been good for the last couple of years, and with Winston being in, it can get, like Christian said and James, it can go either way. He's either going to be, I think a lot of comments were like, he's either going to end up fucking throwing 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, or bloody 5 interceptions, and then 1 touchdown. But I think time will tell. But I think it's just an exciting week. I think obviously after the bye week, I know it's like always nervous getting into a game, especially this derby week, rival week. But you just got to go into it. I think I've seen a few people saying like going into it like, oh, we're just going to get beat, etc. Then what's the point of going into the game like that? You might as well get excited for it, get excited for the game, and take it as it comes.
James is infuriating to watch because, I mean, he does things that very few quarterbacks can do and then compounds it with an error. So it depends what we're going to see on Sunday. If we see the one that's going to, like you said, Cal, throw for 5 touchdowns, we're in trouble. But if we get the one that's error-prone, reckless, and just has no idea what he's doing, we'll win comfortably.
But I think it's like what Sean Payton did with Bridgewater last year. I have a disgusting feeling that it could be that sort of quarterback that comes to play. As much as it pains me to say that.
I was going to say something similar. Don't think we'll see the same Winston that we saw at Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a miracle turnaround, but I think Sean Payton will have improved him a lot, even in the short period of time that they've been working together, just because he is an offensive genius. If you have to say that on live stream, but I have to say it.
I think Kirk might also be giving the defense advice on what Jameis can and can't do from his time in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I agree. He's got a lot. I've said all along though, if I had to pick who I'd rather face, Breeze and Winston, I'd take Winston every time. If you're offering me both, I will take Winston. I think he's got a lot of, he can do a lot of that Breeze can't at this stage in his career. He can move on. He's a big guy. He's really hard to bring down when he gets going. Winston, he can move. and said he's got a good arm. He can be accurate. He can string together tons of passes, and then all of a sudden he can't even hit any of his receivers. So yeah, you don't know what you're going to get with him. But my concern is how much he's going to have improved under this setup and with this coaching that he's got now. Hopefully not a lot, but I still think he's a serious threat. But I think we can shut it down. We said we've got to get that pressure on and keep the pressure on. Consistent pressure is the key with Winston. He does panic, and it's very hard to get that out of somebody's mentality that when you've got rushers coming at you, he will still sling it. He's a gunslinger at the end of the day, and he will carry on doing that. But we just got to make sure that we maintain that pressure and get onto him.
I think if the pass rush can be at a decent level like it was before the bye week, I think we've got a good chance. And I think if the linebackers pressure him and keep him on his toes and move him.
Yeah.
I think that I'm probably more like, obviously Kamara's in form, like one of the best running backs this year for me. And even receiver, he's received quite a lot of yards this year. So I think we'll be more wary of him compared to actually how Winston's doing, I think. But like Liam was saying, if you put the pressure onto Winston, like he's like pressure, like even the first few snaps, etc., if they start with the ball, even if you just lose a few yards straight away, but you're putting him down, like you end up hitting him after he's through it, etc. I think if you put the pressure on straight away, I think it'll help throughout the game.
Yeah, that is going to be a thing. Like if we can put pressure on him, then that's where he's potentially going to start to panic and then throw something stupid, which might lead to an interception. If we don't get pressure on him and he's got all the time in the world, then he's going to be less likely to throw an interception. So getting that pressure on him, forcing him to panic, that could be key as well.
I think the big thing to worry about on Sunday is not the quarterback issues or the little slant boy known as Michael Thomas. It's Kamara. He's one of the scrimmage leaders this year. I think he is top, if memory serves. He's top 5 anyway, I think. But he's been killing it on the ground. He's been killing it in the passing game. And our run defense has actually fared up pretty well this year. I think we were second last game I saw against Denver, something like that. But we're doing pretty well against on the ground game. So the question is, can we stop Kamara on Sunday?
I think looking at the run game with Denver and what the Saints have is two completely different kettles of fish. Kamara's probably 1 or 2 running back in the league, and like Lindsay and Gordon, I'd say probably not even in the top 20.
Yeah, he's good though, Kamara. Like I say, I think he's somebody that we really have to stop in getting momentum. We have to get to him early. We almost have to spy him because he's somebody. Once he gets going, he's got the best balance of any running back in the league. Like he's just very hard to bring down. He's always carrying a lot of momentum, and he's just so guided in the way he runs. So I'd like to see us really trying to trap him behind the line of scrimmage and just stop him moving forward, because I don't know how they're going to scheme him up. I don't know whether they're going to use him as a receiver or what, to give Winston some easier passes, because he can make yardage, obviously, with ball in hand. It's not Winston's style. Obviously, Winston likes to throw downfield. They might go away from that and just let him do what he wants. I don't really know what they're going to do. Obviously, if Breeze was there, they'd use him more as a receiver. But, yeah, he's a real threat to us. I think if we shut him down, we win. I think that's the key to the game.
He's number 2 in scrimmage yards, 9 yards behind Dalvin Cook. Kamara has 486 rushing yards and 648 receiving.
Fucking hell.
He's going to be high.
I didn't expect that. I knew he had quite a lot of receiving, but I didn't expect that many.
Do you think it'll reach the point where, I don't know, how some teams have to spy quarterbacks where we'll have to spy a running back? Because Kamara has been that dominant this year.
Yeah, that's going to happen. But I think we've got to think about their receivers. If you match them up 1-on-1 but against the Falcons, they're not even in the same league. If we're being honest, so I think we have to go for just bombs away, get the points up, and then just hold on and hope Kamara doesn't do like a Devontae Adams and just take over the game altogether.
Yeah. Might put Jones on him. I mean, just obviously Jones has got some speed and he reads the game really well. You might try and shut him down with Jones. I don't know yet, but that could be a way to stop him. But yeah, we've just got to get to him behind the line of scrimmage, bring him down, stop him getting going, stop him getting them ball in hand plays, which he's very good at, and I think we win.
It'd be hard to put in Dion on as a spy though, because our pass rushers looked at its best when we're bringing the linebackers, so we can't spy Kamara in that regard. With Dion, maybe at a DB.
We might just bring Keanu into the pass rush more because he's been doing they both did a bit of pass rushing. They've both done it very well actually, so they might just go solely with Neil and let Dion cover. I don't know. For me, in terms of our linebacking core, he's the only one that could possibly cover Kamara from those three due to speed. He's obviously very quick, but yeah, we could go with a DB on him. There's a few options, but you just got to, whoever it is, has got to be able to read the game really well, and I think Dion's one of our best at that. So he would be my pick, but I'm not a defensive coordinator, so.
Is Ridley back this week? Is that confirmed?
Hopefully, I'm not too sure.
I've not really seen anything of it. I know it's a couple of days away.
The Falcons posted out today that they're trying to get him workouts throughout the week, but it's not guaranteed, and he's not doing all of the group workouts. So it's still 50-50, I reckon, reading into what they've put out there today. It would be a massive blow to us. I mean, obviously we've got Julio back, which is a bonus, but Ridley just adds an entirely different platform that nobody else does, I think. I don't think anybody runs routes like he does. People are as powerful as he is and as quick as he is, but I don't think any of the others are quite as like up there with it. So I think it'd be a massive loss if he is.
Yeah.
Best numbers to receive in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable going into Sunday if, Jones and Ridley are both there. If, you want your best players to be playing, and especially when you're going into a game with your rivals and, who are a good team, and you want your best players there. So hopefully as the week goes on now, he'll start trending in the right direction and getting some practice time in, and hopefully he'll be there on Sunday. Yeah.
I'd say so. With the results that how it went out last year, it's kind of a similar scenario to last season that we're in now. Do you anticipate us to turn around and get a win out of this week? Any of you? Because I mean, I'm reasonably optimistic. Even if they had a full strength team, I've just got a feeling about games like this where we're not entitled to win them, but this is where we tend to perform, and we did last season when we finished 6-2. We won all the games that we shouldn't have won, and it confuses me. But I think I'd see us winning this without a doubt.
I'm very optimistic offensively. I don't think the defensive back crew has performed particularly well this year, by that Tampa game. Both Tampa games really. So I think Julio's going to kill Marshawn Lattimore, and I think the likes of Gage, Olamide Zacchaeus, and Hayden Hurst are going to continue making plays, because that trust is continuing to build between Ryan and Hurst. And over that bye week, it wouldn't shock me if it's grown even further.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think with Hurst, teams are still underestimating him completely.
Yeah.
Still leaving him I know he's tight end, but usually leaving him 1-on-1. And the speed he has for a big guy is unbelievable at times. So if we have Ridley back and then him, and then Zacchaeus pulled out 100 yards last week, etc. But you never know what can happen. I think it's one of them where you don't really want to take a 20-point lead in any of it. I'd rather be a close game all the way through. Gives us more of a chance, I think.
All I want to say, and is all that I hope, is that we don't get buccaneered like they did the other week, because even if we lose, a loss is a loss, but getting a a scoreline like that is absolutely sickening. And I don't know how we would recover. I know other teams can recover, but us in the state that we're in at the moment, I don't think a 3-point game would go down very well for the rest of the season.
No, especially with the Bucks being, well, they're already on like 6 or 7 wins, and then they won last week. Even though they got battered by them, they're on a better score, like game ratio anyway. So obviously we're on 3 to 6. So plus it's a massive
I think we can put a point on them. And I think last time I checked, I don't know if this was before or after the last game, but the Saints were number 4 in yards conceded, so they were right up there with stopping teams getting some big yards, which is obviously, I think we're in the top 5 for yards gains, so something's got to give there. I'd like to think that we can put up yards against anybody in the league. I don't think anybody can stop us, but we've got the full set out there, and Ryan's playing well. There's just too many options. Nobody has that many DBs that can just cover that many guys. I mean, it is what it is. But obviously we need that backup. We need that run game to be at least decent to complement it again, because so they'll know what's coming. They know an air raid's coming from Ryan, and they know we're going to go to Ridley as many times as we can if he's playing. And if they're all going at Ridley, then there's Jones over the other side who's just going to make plays. So they know what's coming. But what they obviously will be anticipating is that our run game isn't that good. If we can surprise them with a solid run game, then I think that probably is our key to our victory on the offensive side.
I think we need to go with a bit more play action, because you look at the Carolina game, the first series, it was like 2 play actions just sort of halfway down the field, and then he just seems to go away from it, and it does make the defense think more. Will it go to Gurley, or will it be lob 40 yards down the field to 2 number 1 receivers?
Yeah. I think the play actions for me, it's only effective when they fear the run. If you can establish that run, and and they see that run as a real threat, then play action becomes a real weapon, because obviously they just don't know what to do. But if they see that our run game just getting stuffed every single time, we can try and throw play action into there, but they're just going to go. They're not running. They're going to read it, and obviously play action can cause some real issues with sacks and loss of yards. So
that's until Cotter. Yeah, that's until Cotter pulls out was it third and run, and we got like 20 yards to gain or something. It's just like, no fucking chance. But I completely agree with Liam with the running game. I think that is a major. I don't know what we average over the season, what our Gurley averages over the season per play, but it's like 2-3 yards. If 3 yards, maybe. I think it's
not been great.
It's not good enough, even though, like what me and Danny have said all the way through, use him in the red zone and he'll score you 15 touchdowns a year without a doubt. And I feel like Hill is maybe using, I don't know, I think a bit more. I feel like he's got more, I don't know, like more agility-wise to get through, and he does gain a few more yards for me. But obviously in the red zone, there's only one person you'd use.
I just find it so frustrating watching our run game, because it's just like, 90% probably 95% of the time we're just running straight down the middle, and it's like literally, like I say, it's a 1, 2, 3 yard gain, and then when we like run to the outside, we're getting like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we just go back to running up the middle, and you just think like, surely that you can see from sitting at home and watching it that running up the middle every time we run the ball is not effective.
We all agree that that's down to a really poor playbook, or are we just blaming individuals for it? Because for me, we're nowhere near as expansive enough as we should be in.
Well,
I think
just Dirk being a dick.
That's all we want about the rushing game, but Gurley's actually 9th among running backs in terms of yards. He's averaging 3.7 yards per carry, and is 2nd in the league in rushing touchdowns among running backs behind Dalvin Cook. So we're not doing too bad when you think about it.
Is he the 9th best? Is he the 9th best in the league though, or is he better than that?
He's better than that. He's top 5 realistically when he's on his day. He's a top 5, but we're not performing like that. I'm pretty convinced that. Go on.
Okay, so what of his players that I've seen his better players this season, they've been where he's improvised and he's seen his own gap. I don't think a lot of even his decent runs, he's took a sort of step and gone for a different gap, and he's read the defense, which he's always been very good at. I can't remember a single play this season for him or any of our running backs which was an actual burst downfield. I'm not even sure we've done one. I don't know what our longest rush of the season is, but I'd be surprised if we'd done one over 20 yards, 25 yards this season.
I think was it the Seahawks game? I think Gurley did a decent one at the start, and everyone sort of got like excited, and then it obviously since then it sort of just dropped off. I think I didn't watch that game. I was at work, and Danny messaged me like, "Oh, we got like an 18-yard gain on the first drive." But he sort of just gone downhill from there. But I think the playbook it just seems the same. Yeah, it seems the same plays all the time. Like Rob said, down the middle. It's like, but as soon as you take one step to the left, one step to the right, even if you're gaining an extra yard, you're gaining an extra yard, which is better than 3.75. You're getting closer to the 5 yards, which is a massive gain.
Longest is actually 35.
Is that Hill by any chance?
Oh, Gurley.
Was it?
Was that for his touchdown?
I think in the Chicago game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% certain of that, but I think because he had about 130 yards on the ground that day.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because he was the first running back since like 2015 for us to get over 100 yards or something fucking stupid like that shouldn't happen. But
certainly not happening often enough. And Gurley is certainly prime Gurley. He made his name on these explosive plays where he bounced to the outside and just was gaining 20 plus yards with just ease before anyone was getting near him. And then obviously with his red zone play as well. But I don't want to say he's not the same back, because I don't think we can say his knees are affecting him in any way. It doesn't look to be. He's getting a lot of carries and he looks healthy. Whether or not it's a confidence or whether it's a scheme, I don't know. But we're just not getting him open in the same way.
Scheme.
The Rams did. I think so. It looks like to me. He's not a run down the middle guy, is he?
No, not at all.
I think also
I need
with
to make a move anyway, so I'll.
Nice one, mate. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for jumping on.
We'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, see you well.
See you later.
See you later, mate. Right, we'll bring someone else on, and then we'll keep rotating around.
I'll get back for the bar. I'll let him get in.
All right, nice one, mate. We'll have you back on again anyway soon.
Yeah.
Just going back to scheme.
Nice one, man. See you later.
Just going back to scheme. We don't have mobile quarterback allegedly, but I think if we had a more mobile quarterback, I think we could be slightly more expansive, because the defense will be worried about
Then taking
like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, because they make holes then for everyone else to play into, and we just don't. Even when I love Matt, but even when he sees a space and it is space that you could jog into, he's so reluctant to do it. And when he does, he always looks like he's ready to get hit, even if there's no one within like 10, 15 yards of him. So, but that's where your coordinator's got to play to his strengths and not to what he wants to do. So.
How many times do you see Big Ben running?
0. But how well do they play it? How well does their coordinator manage it? Very well.
Ben is a bit heftier than Matt, so that's why he's probably not doing a lot of running.
Yeah, but that's my point on it, is that you don't necessarily need it if you can protect him, which we can't. So Matt might look like a little bit like he's about to get absolutely shafted, because 9 times out of 10 he probably usually is. I'm surprised the guy even sleeps at night. He probably jolts up right in bed thinking he's about to get hit off somebody. But I think we've kind of got to bear in mind is that, although Matt might not be the most mobile, like you said it yourself, James, right? Like if we had a Lamar Jackson, well, fuck me, he's been setting the NFL on fire this year, hasn't he? Because Geezer can't throw. Yeah, he can run around, and that's great. And let's face it, the Ravens ain't really played anybody, and if they have, they've lost. So I see a regression in him. I see kind of, well, I'll revert back to type because they've probably told me to rein in the throwing a bit, and that's that. And we've got someone who genuinely has that talent. I see what you're saying. I do. I get it, and I hear it quite a lot. But especially against the Saints as well, like they've got a decent pass rush, but they haven't got the pass rush they had 2 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't I see that Matt Ryan is scrambling anyway?
There was genuinely a stat the other day. Was that not just in week 9, or was that genuinely overall? If so,
no, it was somewhere in there. He led in scrambling. So like 30 over the season or something.
I'm sure I've seen somewhere that day, and I might be making it up. I'm sure I've seen somewhere that he scrambled more yards than Patrick Mahomes has this season.
Yeah.
He's escaped pressure more than any other QB as well.
Yeah, you can see that, but that's probably because he's also had a lot more pressure than any other QB.
That
so
average is probably a bit skewed, Christian, because he probably gets pressured more fucking times than any poor bastard in the NFL.
Out of doubt.
Before we carry on, can I just answer someone in the comments? Sports Live in the ATL. Danny, why do you not pay attention to your chat? I can answer
my God.
Sports Live in the ATL. He's an northerner. He can't read.
Right, okay, one sec. I've just jumped on now.
I've ignored all them.
You know what? That's your two fault, because whilst you were pending to come on the show, I was on our chat instead. So right, let's have a look.
I may know if you made it his fault, like.
Yeah.
Guardian slot receiver. Oh my God, are these all recent?
How are you doing, Turtle?
You're back.
Right, let's pop everyone's comments up just so everybody's got on. I apologise to everyone that's shit hosting by me. I will take the hit. Right, okay. I'm on. What else have we got? Mobile quarterbacks have a shelf life. Well, they do in terms of how long the careers are as well, because they get absolutely fucking pummeled all the time.
Ask RG3. That's an amazing quote. Ask him. Because like he was meant to be the next best thing not so long ago. Like everyone was like, holy shit, like exactly the kind of stuff that's around Lamar at the minute, Yeah. And now, he's out.
He's playing for like the North Alaska fucking, I don't know, some stupid word, Canada somewhere now, wouldn't he, I suppose?
I think RG3 was still
he's with the Ravens.
Still with the Ravens.
Yeah, he's Lamar Jackson 2.0 when he gets injured.
The thing is, rushing quarterbacks like that, they're going to have the same body wear, aren't they? The running backs are. So they're going to have the pound on the legs. They're going to get smashed by linebackers and safeties. So they're always going to have a shelf life. Whereas if you're Matt Ryan, who evades it, just throws the ball or sends it off, he's going to just go on forever.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, there's plenty of examples of it. Drew Brees is an example of it as well. What's he now, 40? And he's just, I know it's probably his last year, but he's just fucking
but Noodles can't throw past 20 yards.
He just about throws past 10 yards.
Hey, you never know. He might be able to, but it's all them slot and slant runs. He doesn't need to do it. That's all he's fucking getting the options for. So, I'm glad he's not there, though.
One thing that does irritate me about the argument about mobile quarterbacks, people get confused between the term mobile and scrambling. I mean, look at Pat Mahomes, he's mobile, but he doesn't scramble all the time.
No.
Look at someone like Russell Wilson, he doesn't scramble all the time, but he's mobile.
Yeah.
He's mobile enough to escape pressure when he can. Doesn't mean he's going to scramble every time.
Yeah.
That means being able to get out the pocket and do something else with it, doesn't it? I think that might be our kind of trouble and maybe almost like kind of a downfall of an outside perception of Matt is they go, well, he hasn't got out the pocket, and they say, well, he hasn't, but that kind of does kind of fall on the OC as well, because getting out of the pocket, it's everything kind of comes down to the play you're being told to play, and I think it's interesting that Shani's gone to San Francisco and Jimmy G's already fucked. Now, don't get us wrong, he was a little bit like injury prone to begin with, but if you're not giving them the players that can kind of give them like their best chance, then I think that might just be a bit of a blind side where Shanahan's concerned, because I do think, although I'm not completely knocking him. I mean, I did jump around the ball when I watched the 49ers get beat last season. I'm not going to lie, but I do just think it is actually quite coach dependent on whether quarterbacks have that awareness to get out of the pocket and do something else with it. And I think that all comes down to the plays. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
There's been a sincere lack of ain't bashing tonight. I mean, I'm quite disappointed because I thought that's what we were aiming to do tonight. Right,
go on then. I'm going to say fuck the Saints. Somebody start me off.
How do you stop a Saints fan beating his wife?
Oh no, go on.
Put her in a Falcon shirt. I actually, genuine story. I know someone, she went to work in New Orleans, she's a teacher, and she was in her class, and she said, oh yeah, I'm a Saints fan. I'm a Saints. Anyone else here a Saints fan? So obviously all the kids are putting their hands up apart from one.
Yeah.
She said to this kid, well, you're not a Saints fan? She said, no, I'm a Falcons fan. I said, well, Falcons fan? Why are you a Falcons fan? And this kid said, well, my dad's a Falcons fan, my mum's a Falcons fan, so I'm a Falcons fan. And obviously, that's great, because I mean, that's where a lot of us get our So she turned around to this kid and said, well, you don't have to follow what your parents do. I mean, at the end of the day, if your mum was a whore and your dad was a moron, what would you be? She said, well, I'd be a Saints fan.
Shit's just escalated.
This did just hit next level.
Anyway, sorry, I brought it down. Carry on.
We're seeing you there, Sports Live in the ATL. We will definitely get you on at some point. We've just had a 6-guest limit on our account, which is absolutely terrible, which is why we've had to bring Mark and Tricky on afterwards, but we'll definitely get you on at some point. Especially, did I see you up there? You've been a fan since the 80s as well, so you know a hell of a lot more than me and Cal do. That's for certain. Hey, you've got a...
I was waiting to dig that.
Perfect. Right, has anyone actually got any legitimate talking points about the game that we've not already covered? Because we just seem to be shit talking, but I'm all right with that.
All right, I've got a random comment about the actual season. Do you think we can come back and finish 10-6? I mean, Mario Balotelli is about to sign for Barnsley. Anything is possible in 2020.
Very true. You know what? I tend to find that I'm quite a confident person and quite an optimistic person, and I'd never say never, but even I'm struggling this season because this second half of the season is absolutely insane. Like it's I'm pretty sure it's the most difficult out of anything, especially based on each of the team's form. Yeah. So it's absolutely.
It's like you've still got the Raiders who look a pretty decent team. You got the Chargers who are 2 for 7, but only lost every game they've lost has only been by one play.
Yeah.
So I can't see more than three wins.
Yeah. Well, most of them by one play as well.
3 wins.
I think the way we've played and what we've got coming up to the end of the season, I'd say the only obviously winnable game coming up is the Chargers. the one where you can say, yes, we've got a really, really good chance. The others are coin flips.
I think we're going to go 1-1 against the Bucks. We're going to go 1-1 against the Saints. We're going to beat the Chargers. I still think we've got a chance against the Raiders as well.
I'd never. Do you know what? I'd never write us off because we're the most bipolar team out there, without a doubt. We lose when we shouldn't, and we win when we shouldn't. So
we're about the fourth quarter this draft pick. I guarantee you, we're about to go 9-7. That's my. That's my prediction.
I can't face it. I can't face another result like that.
We literally toss this draft pick out into the universe, right? Because it's what we do. Right, I can smell it now, and what that'll do is right. And
that's your feet, Mark. You're a northerner.
I've still got my shoes on, bro.
That's your feet, Mark. You're a northerner.
Right, the only game we're going to lose is against the Chiefs.
That would be a stunning turnaround. Would
that give Raheem the job? Would they think, just give him the job?
This is what I was about to say. This is exactly what I was about to say, because what it'll do, right, is it will totally toss up the head coach's decision. Because, then the new GM's got an even harder job and a shitter draft pick.
Yeah,
exactly. And that is, like if you can envisage a more, like self-destructive thing for us to do, it would be that. For us to just kind of get good at the wrong time. And I think we'll go 2-0 against the Saints. I'm predicting 2-0 against the Bucks, but I think Tricky's probably right. It probably will be 1-1. But I'm still going to stick with my optimistic prediction because that's how I fucking roll.
If you go on to next season, obviously I know it's ages away, but what would fans expect, even if we ended up with 9 wins or 7 wins or 6 wins? I think because the offense will still be there, what do we do in the draft? Do we just defensive?
We've got to get defensive. We've got to get that record in the defensive line. We need to find someone better than Takaris McKinley, better than Vic Beasley, and just find that absolute animal that can come off the edge and just smash their way through it.
Yeah. We haven't had
I said it in the Twitter chat. I am still devastated. We drafted Pat McKinley and passed on TJ Watt. I just the night I was watching the draft and I saw that happen, I literally started crying.
Let it go. Let it go.
You see how angry I'm getting? My head has gone really red.
Hello, Atlanta Falcons Nation. Thank you for joining us live. We've got quite a lot of comments today, but everybody's just helping us shit talk, really, so it's going pretty well.
But we've got to get Marlon Davidson in there. If he can be the animal that he portrays himself to be, he's got to get himself in again. His head right.
I was really excited about him. I don't know what's going on with that.
Pardon?
Is he injured then?
What's going on with that?
Well, he was injured.
Really weird.
Is he injured?
I don't think so. It was a healthy scratch against Denver. He had 7.5 sacks last year with Auburn, and he's done absolutely nothing. Yes, he had injuries prior to the start of the season, and yes, he was on the COVID list. But maybe it's just a question of that. Maybe it's just been having to catch up too much. So we need to see better from him. He's in
and out of training week in, week out, isn't he? So he's not up to speed with the plays. Hopefully, we can have a pre-season next year to get him up to speed, and he could be the bully that he talked himself up to be, and what we hope he can be.
I just want to see
we miss that player in every life.
We do.
I just want to see us start again. I want, and this is nothing against Raheem. It really, really isn't. And if he does win out, then okay, I'll eat my words, right? But I think it's best we go right. Like the new GM gets his guy, and we start again new coordinators, new playbook. Yep, do you know what it is? It's going to take a couple of years to implement, and I get that. But the thing with it is that if you've still got a decent core team, the playbook will come. It will work itself out. We're not going to be fucking awful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've still got this chance that, you know, we've still got one of the best offenses in the NFL. So like playbook regardless, right? This, as much as like the playbooks, and when you play Madden and you look at some of these fucking X's and O's and shit, you're like, I have no idea what. Just go out there and play ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you've got the players that we've got, half the NFL is jealous of our players. They don't like us, but half the NFL is jealous of our players.
Yes.
Half the NFL are laughing at some of the players we do have.
Well,
but let's just sort that shit out. Let's start the game. Let's fucking rise up. And
this is why we need to bring a GM maybe 2 or 3 before the end of the season, or right on the end of the season, so he can come straight in and say, right, you're out the door, you're out the door, you're out the door. Keanu, you're having a new contract. Rico, you're a cat casualty. Fuck off. You know, and just we need someone to come in straight away and just hit the ground running and make the decisions there and then. Because if we don't, we are going to be fucked.
Do you think they have a GM like sorted, or like they know who, or I don't know how it works? No, they're not allowed to go into other teams or whatever. You must have an eye on a few. Must have.
Agents would have been throwing names at Arthur Blank and Rich McKay. Rich McKay and Arthur Blank will be contacting agents saying, look, we've got an interest in you as GM. What do you think? And I think it happens in all sport. Listen, I'm a club official in football. I see it all the time, even in non-league football over here. So it's going to happen over there. They know who they want. That person will know who they want to bring in as their coach as well.
I completely agree with
you. And they need to have their finger on the pulse straight away. Like when Carl Shanahan went to San Fran, he went play after the Super Bowl. It was already planned. It was always going to happen. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, especially Mark, with about needs to be a new start. Get rid of, as bad as it sounds, even if you end up on 8-8, I don't care. If he makes the playoffs, then it's a sort of a different question because he's obviously pulls out of a massive hole. But if not, it's basically restart. And if next year we end up on 7-9, but you see progressive and you see the defense, if you're not getting battered in certain games and you're not sort of losing them games where we shouldn't be losing, which I think is a massive mentality thing throughout the whole organisation. If you see that change, then I think fans will be happy. I don't think fans next year will come into like, oh, we're going to win 12 games or whatever. I think if you see you got a new head coach, a new GM, you'll take it from there.
Yeah.
I think open.
Because a new offensive coordinator will come in with a new playbook. What's the point? Just get on with it. Just ride the season out, and then at the end of the season, bring in a clean sweep. And then
I agree with that one. I'm not Cotter's biggest fan, but changing mid-season is insane. I mean, how expansive. If you want to be an offensive coordinator, your playbook's got to be massive, and you're not going to learn that within the next game, and then the next game. You need a pull-off for it.
It's been a little bit more expensive the last few games as well.
A little bit.
Personal playbook's only got about fucking 4 pages in it, I think. But I think,
yeah.
I don't know. He, like I said, I think he's been a little bit more expansive. We're still doing that stupid run up the middle on a 2nd and 10. But there's been some plays where he's pulled a couple of tricks out, and you know, I haven't warmed to him, but he's done better since Dan Quinn's gone. He's opened up a little bit more. He really has.
Honestly, if we got rid of Cutter, we could have been facing a situation like the 2018 Browns when they let Todd Haley go, brought Freddie Kitchens in. The offense looked great, and then they flopped with him as head coach and play caller in 2019. We could have been facing something like that. So keeping Cutter, just riding out the season, and then whoever the new head coach is, whether it's Eric Bieniemy, whether it's Lincoln Riley, whether it's whoever, they can bring in their new OC and they can call the plays.
I think it's not going to be Lincoln Riley. He's not going to leave college. He's got too touchy a job. It's gonna be Bieniemy. We're going to be an offensive juggernaut, and let's be honest, the division's going to be open. It's going to be open season for the division next year because Breeze is gone. Brady, if he doesn't win, is he on a 1-year contract at Tampa Bay? So he'll probably be out either one this year or next year. So the division's there for the taking. And Carolina, granted, they're on the up.
Carolina are getting stronger.
I think
they are. I did not have them down for how well they've done this year. I had them down for 5-11 maybe.
Matt Rule was another coach. Came from college. Everyone was like, "Oh, college coach, blah blah." It's why I'm still hanging my hat on Lincoln Riley, man. I'm telling you that it's the way we need to go. I know Matt Rule's not necessarily that young, but I think Riley would come in with more of a Sean McVay kind of feel than what we've got, which. Depending on what you think about McVay, that could be a positive or a negative. But I want to see a bit of energy, and I want to see something different. And everyone keeps talking about Bieniemy, and I'm not saying I wouldn't be happy with it, but the thought process that Bieniemy is the one that calls the Chiefs' offensive plays all the time, I don't swallow. Because it's Andy Reid. He's the coach. He's a coach like Bill. Bill will call the plays. Really, do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like he'll kind of call the piddly second downs or the first downs or whatever. I don't think Bieniemy is going to live up to the hype that some people are saying. And that worries me.
You lot wouldn't have seen it, but we saw it a few years ago with Bobby Petrino. The big guy, he came in and then just absolutely fucked us left, right, and centre. And this is why I'm always, and I think the same with Arthur Blank, they've always been a bit hesitant about bringing in a head coach out of the college. After what happened with Petrino, I think they want someone who's been around the NFL a little bit, and he's not going to jump ship at the first sight of panic. Plus, is Uncle Arthur going to back up 4 lorry loads of cash for Lincoln Riley because he's on a wedge, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on like 5+ million a year in a job that's one of the safest in college football.
Exactly.
Why would you? It's the same. Would you go for Dabo Sweeney? Wouldn't leave Clemson. It's just doesn't make sense.
I've got a link back to one of those comments in there. Sorry to interrupt, but it was from I Like Turtles. Joe Brady back up to Bieniemy. I've been rooting for that in the group chat. I believe he's the dark horse to this job. He's been without the best running back in the league, in my opinion, the entire season. And Teddy Bridgewater is in the top 5 in passing yards. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. Look at the job Brady's doing there. He is the dark horse for me.
I'll take that.
And look at the LSU offense last year when they won the national championship with Joe Burrow. That was probably one of the best offenses historically that the college game has actually seen. I don't know how true that is, but you'd believe that anyway. And the job that he's done in the past 2 years, he'd be a great choice. He would be a great choice.
I think well, wait. Let's flip this then. What did everyone think when we initially recruited Dan Quinn?
I liked it. I really liked it.
Well, he just come out of the Legion of Boom, hadn't he? That was
where
his set came from.
Mark, are you on dial-up or something? You need to call AOL just to sort of sort your line out.
Oh this is unrelated. There we go. This is unrelated to what we're talking about. We posted a picture. Well, Cal posted a picture of Yorkshire puddings the other day, and apparently nobody knows what they are apart from us. So, how do you describe a Yorkshire pudding?
You can only eat them with beef.
No.
It's a flour,
You
egg,
need
and water
to
mix
stop
baked
all
in
this
a boiling hot water,
tomfoolery because
eaten
you're
with
starting to
beef.
make yourself look foolish. Like,
You drink dripping from a cup. That
Wait,
will work. No.
if it's cold, of course I will.
Jesus Christ. Yorkshire puddings are only eaten with beef and gravy and a roast dinner. You don't have them with any other meat. Try it.
I don't eat beef. How should I eat it then?
Only gravy, mate.
So are you saying that toad in the hole is a bad thing?
Yes, sir.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Quite clearly, because that's a sausage.
All right. Okay. This could go on forever.
You've got problems, you like.
I've lived in the Midlands for far too long.
Dwayne Wade. I don't consider him a
I think he was going because he thought he'd be the architect of the Legion of Boomers.
Yeah, I agree. He built the LOB. Arthur Blank liked that. We wanted to have a really strong D. He thought Dan Quinn could do that. And to be fair, the first season, he was all right. I mean, obviously, we outscored people by left, right, and centre. But he tried to build it in that way by bringing in Keanu Neal. Unfortunately, he just couldn't carry it on. By the way, that's my favourite ever Saints moment is when Keanu Neal beat the living shit out of Willie Snead on the sideline. That is my favourite ever Falcons Saints moment.
Didn't they they posted that, didn't they?
Who did?
The Falcons, I think it was.
I don't know. I haven't seen today.
I seen the video, the INT in the colour rush uniform. I can't remember who it was now.
Was it Dion? That?
Yeah, it was Dion.
Yeah.
It was Dion, wasn't it? It was like.
Honestly, I think like going into this, and I know I've said it quite a lot this week, but with the best player in the world, like we're about to play a Saints team that feel really disjointed to me. Like, don't get us wrong, they're winning, and yeah, I get that. And I heard everyone sucking Kamara's dick earlier on, and the kid's a great player. He is. I don't dispute that. But the reason that he's getting as many yards and as many this, as many that is they've got fuck all else. And Noodles can't throw over fucking 20 yards. So with the best player in the world, right? You've now got someone who can throw the ball, right? Which means that their receivers are probably going to get more work, but it's work that they haven't had in the past 10 games. So they're going to be like,
going to be confused as fuck.
We've actually got to run this way now. Fuck, we haven't experienced this in a little while. So like I think it's going to be a game change for them, and they're going to have to massively, massively change the way that they've been playing over the past 10 games. So they're either going to adapt to that or they're not. Now, obviously, I'm an optimist, so I'm going to say they're not. I think we beat them over. I think we outscore them. It's whether our defense steps up, but I don't think we should be necessary. I think Jameis could hurt us because I think he plays more to our weaknesses than Noodles does. But I think we've like if we're not going into this game at least 70% confident, then like. And Big Low just said it there, because I'll be honest with you, as I was thinking, I can't even remember who their fucking wide receiver core is apart from Michael Thomas.
Triple.
So, like, and I'm not sure if I'm just having a mind fart there, but I can't think of anyone. Oh, Emmanuel Sanders, who's about 45. So like,
I don't know where you get your optimism from, Mark. I mean, you're a Newcastle fan. Where does it come from?
Well, it's because I don't put any optimism into them. I just pile it all into this, and then I'm disappointed here, and then it's not so bad if I've got two sets of disappointment rather than just one.
Yeah, I'm used to both.
What about with the Hawks, Mark? Don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I got massively into NBA over the first lockdown, so I'll be honest, I haven't really been into it that long. But I'm a bugger for continuity, so I was kind of like, I'm going to get into NBA. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna choose a team from somewhere else in America that I don't know, because I chose Atlanta because I've got love for that city anyway. So I was kind of like, fuck it, I'm going all in on the Hawks. And then I realized that I got either. So I didn't really go in with any expectations, truth be told. And then they weren't even in the fucking bubble, so I couldn't even watch them, which was great.
Well, suffering. Just what we signed up for.
Yeah, but I've got I've already got 4 Hawks jerseys upstairs, and I'm like, I'm all in.
Love it. That's what we're here for.
Going back to the Falcons, has anyone actually read the Falcons page today where it was saying we're actually blitzing less under Raheem Morris than we were under Dan Quinn?
I did not see that. No.
Yeah. I think that makes sense though, Tricky, doesn't it? Because when you blitz, you obviously leave a lot more open in the backfield, right? So you kind of go, well, at least now we're kind of being smart when we blitz.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I mean. You watch the lining up the 4 men, and I mean you're seeing Keanu come through the middle. Dion Burton. I keep calling him Dion Burton. Right.
Isn't that the guy on there who comes under the hammer?
No, that's John Dublin, isn't it? Dion Burton used to play for Gillingham. He's youth academy manager at West Brom. Dylan Jones coming up through the middle. The blitzing seems to be working. We're not just keep hammering it, and failing. We're actually using it sparingly and at the right time now. And I think if we can do that Sunday, then I think Jameis is going to go on his ass a few times as well.
Yeah, I think it's also the coverage has been better recently as well. So we're not trying to manufacture it now to actually go, shit, we need to take the pressure off the defensive backs.
Yeah. We don't want them to it's all going into the dressing room saying, we don't want them to target Kendall Sheffield. We don't want them to target Isaiah Oliver. So let's try and get them to throw it to AJ Terrell. We're just letting them do what they want to do, but our coverage is much better, and we're being able to put a stop to it a lot better.
Yeah, and AJ's got better as well. Because Terrell in the draft, I think when we picked him, it was like, why are you picking him?
Yeah,
but you can see why he's been picked.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, you saw obviously Jeff Okudah going off quite high. We needed a cornerback, clearly. And AJ Terrell being there was the best option for us.
Yeah.
And obviously, the fact he's come from Clemson as well, I think it just works out perfectly. And I think I read today as well, he's the highest graded rookie quarterback. Dimitrov strikes again.
Whoa, steady on. We're only fucking 10 games in. He hasn't struck again just yet. Jesus.
Let's jump on that one a quick second, actually. Dimitrov going as well. I know this is unrelated, but Dimitrov going as well. How was everyone about that? Because
he was getting too stale.
I could have had a cheeky tug. I was so happy.
I think it was nailed on to happen as soon as the trigger was pulled on DQ. It was going to happen on TD. I think he was in that untenable position that he would be in charge of bringing in the next head coach. I don't think Arthur Blank wanted that. I think he realised we needed a complete clean sweep from top to bottom. My only disappointment, I'll say it week in, week out, is how the fuck Rich McKay is still in the job.
He knows where the bodies are buried.
He must do, yeah. Or he's got photos of Arthur Blank and Dimitrov compromising positions, because that's the only reason he can still have a job.
Yeah, and I think one of the comments that's just come in from Justin there is absolutely right. Is the cap problems he created by paying people too fucking early. Like, they were the best of the world. Look, you live by a sword and you die by a sword, right? And and he made some calls, right? You know, Freeman looked a baller. Vic looked a baller after fucking 1.5 seasons of decent footballing. And this is the problem: is you look at, and I know Tricky's probably going to have a go at me for the amount I want them off, but like the Steelers organisation is fucking unbelievable because you've got their WR1 now, Juju Smith-Schuster. They didn't take up his option. They took it into the 5th year, and kid's still balling, kid's still getting double coverage. The Steelers operate like next man up. Do you know what I mean? So a little bit like we're doing at the minute, to be fair, with Zacchaeus and Gage. And it's kind of like, well, with the best will in the world, we've got to now start making those smart decisions and saying to these kids, if you want paid, if you want your money, you are going to do your 5 years and you are going to graft for it. And we will reward you and we will look after you. And that's the thing is, fucking Thomas Dimitrov comes in with his fucking quiz and goes, all right, lads, not a problem. Fucking how you
yeah, I mean, in fairness, he had to pay Julio. He had to pay Matt Ryan. Devonta, like you said at the time, he was balling. He had to pay him. I will never, ever forgive him for taking up the 5th-year option on Vic Busley. I don't know why he did that. No one.
We paid Vic early. And we paid Freeman early as well.
But it's more recent than that as well. Look at who we've given fucking £42 million.
I'm sure Freeman got paid in like year 3 or 4, and I'm sure, and Vic definitely didn't go the full course.
Yeah, Vic Beasley, they took the 5th-year option, which guaranteed him 13 million, I think, something stupid
15,
like that. 15 million, was it? Yeah, I knew it was something like that. So if they could just decline that 5th-year option, we could have fucked him off a year ago. Not worried about his 1.5 sacks and had 15 million in the bank to go out and find someone better.
Yeah. I'd shave my arse with nettles for 1/10 of that money.
I'm not doing it for you.
Also look at Dimitrov on the free agency side of things. He's massively overpaid for people. Yeah. Prime example this year,
Fowler.
Dante Fowler.
I think Dante Fowler's going to come good.
I think I've got to be honest. I think taking the hit that we took for 1 year on Dante Fowler was a risk worth taking for me.
Yeah,
I know he hasn't worked out, and I'm not saying he has. I agree with you. It was a mistake, but I think at the time and where he come from and what he'd done, I think it was a fairly sound decision to go. We'll pay him the $7 million because actually he's done okay up until now. And you know that's I think he's got a lot of L's in that category, but I think.
Oh, Ray Edwards as well.
You know, I'm trying to be as balanced as I can here. I fucking hate the man, but like to be fair, I don't think that one was.
I think it's a minimal cap hit, isn't it? If Fowler goes after a year anyway.
Well, in the small pot that we had left to piss in, yeah, I suppose it was a minimal hit. But
I think the bigger problem has been the O-line because Dimitrov has largely struggled with drafting O-line players and he struggled with signing O-line players in free agency. Luke spending on Brandon Fusco prior to the 2018 season. Luke at James Carpenter and Jamon Brown before the 2019 season. He drafted Sam Nick, he flops.
But he got Tyson Brado in, and Tyson Brado is the heaviest player to score a touchdown. I'm as fat as him, so if he can do it, I can do it, and I'm not going to have a bad person against him.
Is Jamon Brown
draft with what's his name? Matthews, and I think Matthews has been solid.
Yeah, we need solid players along the O-line.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping Matt Hennessy can come good. Matt's gone at the end of the season, isn't he? So what are they going to do? They're going to leave Hennessy trying out at right guard, or they're going to take him into the centre? Maybe they should, like the last 3 or 4 games, put Hennessy in the centre anyway. Or we're just going to go out and pay another centre to come in, or are we going to draft another one and not show no faith in him? So show faith in Hennessy, stick him in centre for the last few games, and let's get this O-line as strong as we can fucking get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Did anyone notice during the weekend as well? I know there was some shit weather in some places, but it wasn't fucking everywhere. But did anyone notice? Because I was just watching Red Zone, fucking stress-free for once, and like there was so many shit snaps of the ball. Like QBs were fucking the ball left, right, and center in loads of different games, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" It's like fucking Pac-Man out there, like, like. And I don't know if it was just me that noticed it, but it just seemed to happen so much.
But this is what
I don't know if
this is going back to my point about Matt Hennessy.
Yeah.
We drafted him as a centre, and now we're sticking him out in right guard.
Yeah.
In practice, stick him under centre. Get Matt to train him up as a centre. Give him snaps at centre. Don't try and put a fucking round peg in a square hole. Just. Yeah. You know, I know he's played right. He played right guard in college and in high school, but they drafted him as a centre. Play him as a fucking centre. Train him as a centre.
Yeah,
you know, you're not going to have shit snaps like you said, Mark.
I agree.
I agree. He's got to be used in the last couple of games. Like, what's the point of not? Especially if the season's completely over by then, which most likely it might be. Not according to Mark, anyway. But. But no, I agree. You've got to put him in. It's if you've drafted him for that position, Mac's most likely going to retire or move on at the end of the year. Probably retired, but just play him there. What's there to lose? I don't think there's anything to lose. And the last couple of games, and if he performs, then at least he's got a few games under his belt.
Does it get to any point where, let's say, I don't know, we are firmly out of playoff contention by the last couple of weeks? Does it ever reach the point where we bench Matt just to ensure he don't get injured ahead of next season?
That depends who's in charge for me, because hypothetically, if we're close to playoffs but can't make it, would Raheem risk losing some games when he's still got the chance of getting the job, even if he didn't make playoffs?
We've got Matt Schaub. Fuck.
Not sure.
No, I mean, if they're going to do that, then I'd want them to bring Kurt Benkert up just to give him a couple of games, see what he can do. They've obviously been raving about him for the last 3 years. So if they want to see what he can do it over the last 2 or 3 games. No point bringing in fucking Matt Gilb and, you know, all right, he had that one great game last season, his only game, but he ain't the future. And this is what we've never done, and this is what we haven't done for a long time, is look to the future.
Yeah.
You know, Matt Shaw made great in the dressing room. It's fucking pointless. May as well put me under centre.
Do we go for someone like Justin Fields or one of the other quarterbacks in the draft?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. I said it for you.
I was about to reply to the comment there. I've already had my say on Sam Darnold. I'm not going to say it again.
What would you offer him?
Third or a fourth.
Fourth round.
He's going to be. I mean, they're going to want to get shot of him. We're going to have. I mean, for me personally, if it means getting rid of Schaub, I'd give a second personally. But
I don't think it's a case of getting rid of Schaub. I think he's gone at the end of the season anyway. I think he's going to retire.
The Jets are racking up picks at the minute, so maybe you say, you know, said a third or a fourth or a fucking fourth and a fucking seventh or whatever, like just so to fucking sweeten them up. But just I don't know, like I just think now's the time to fucking pounce on that, because ultimately what's going to happen is Matt's going to be 37, 38 end of next season.
Yeah.
And that's not really the time you kind of want a new quarterback to come in. The Dolphins have done it really well, to be fair, in transitioning from one to the other. But just like what with Matt's contract as well, you want to kind of fucking squeeze him dry. Do you know what I mean? Or I do anyway. So I don't know. I just think like now is kind of the ideal time, especially if the Jets are having a fire sale, because it makes more sense, and I think he's got more potential. I mean, Trevor Lawrence looks good, agreed. Fields looks good. And who's the other one who plays for the Bisons? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Trey Lance.
Lance. Yeah, he looks a bit of a beast, but he'll go too early for us.
Yeah.
We'll go
Well,
QB1. We'll go QB1 and QB in the first round anyway. Not going to happen. They're going to bring. They're going to go D-line. Absolutely nailed on.
The only issue is we're picking up Darnold. Would it be a situation similar to the Cardinals and Josh Rosen when they drafted Kyler Murray? They asked for a second-round pick for it, and it was the back end of the second round, granted, but it was still a second round. Do you think it'd get to the point where the Jets ask for a second round from us for Darnold?
Not a chance.
We're not going to go for Darnold. We're not going to go for Darnold. We need, as Justin Otto said, we can't trade the picks that we have just to go for a QB that's going to sit on the bench for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. We need the picks that we've got, and we actually need to try and accumulate some more picks because we're going to have so many gaps on the roster next year that we need to try and fill those gaps.
Okay, so using your rationale, Schaub goes end of this year, and we've got, and no disrespect to him, we've got Kurt Benkert to see us through all of next season if Matt gets injured.
And then you look at
if you boys can honestly all sit there, right, and sit there and go, yeah, I've got no problem with that, Mark, then you're all a bunch of bastard fucking liars.
Then you look at the QBs that are going to be on the free market, free agency next year. You can have Ryan Fitzpatrick come in and sit down for a year or so. This is hypothetical. This isn't what I'm suggesting. This is hypothetical. Josh Rosen is going to be free at the end of the next year. He can come in and sit on the bench. You know, these are players that have played in the NFL. You know, we are not going to draft a player to sit 2 years behind Matt Ryan, and we're not going to give up the picks that we have to have to bring in a QB. It's not going to happen. And if you think it is, you're an idiot.
I don't think he is. No, I don't think he is, but I think now is the right time to do it. Is what I'm saying. We can get a season out.
I'm just no. I was thinking about Phil Rivers.
What about Mr. Biscuit? All we want to
let's just ask Brady if he wants to come down, shall we?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you to wind your neck in on that one, Turtle, because you're absolutely right. We can't afford to give up the picks for Darnold.
I'll tell you who to go for. Cap.
I've got no problem with that.
For fuck's sake.
I want a cheap deal. Nice bit of PR.
It's better for the PR than it is for the team, but if he's not playing, it doesn't matter, does it?
He's better than fucking Show, bro.
Huge gamble.
What do we know? It's been nearly 5 years now.
Right.
He literally might have not thrown a ball since. Apart
He
from
had a workout in Atlanta last year.
He did.
I've got no problem. I'll tell you what, Colin Kaepernick is a fucking great shout. I'd have him tomorrow as a backup.
And all he's got to do is sit on the bench for 16
games. I'm glad we finally agreed, Trinny.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to do some quick fire questions that people have sent in just before we wrap tonight up. So let's start with boom. So let's go. Let's call it as in your total wins and losses for the end of the season, as opposed to how you'll finish. So what? Go on. What results we're finishing on?
8 and 8.
3 more games.
8 and 8.
Okay.
I'm going 8 and 8.
8 and 8.
With a chip in my hand.
Yeah, I'm going just 6 wins, so 3 more wins. That's it. I can see Mark's face. I can just see Mark's face, just like smirmy bastard.
Can you highlight Big Low's comments, by the way, please? The last 2 comments.
Let me scroll down.
I'm going. No, Jet is fuck it. I'm gonna go in big.
Right. Okay.
10 and 6.
All right. Oh, I've said 9 and 7. So let's fuck the system. Let's do it. Right. What else have we?
2021. Stop the count.
Right. More of an informal one. This is a good one actually for this weekend because you need to stress drink as well. Drink a choice for the game.
A nice cup of tea.
How posh.
Whiskey and iron brew.
How Scottish. Next.
Any beer I can get my hands on.
Go on, Mark.
I like a beer, but I've recently started drinking because I'm fucking obese. What's the drink like something called hard seltzer in the States? It's massive in the States, and it's essentially right alcoholic fizzy water. Right, it's got fuck all calories in it, and the big brand out there is called White Claw. I've started drinking them. I'll tell you something. They're a proper fucking good slip. I'll go through like cans and cans, and no hangover. It's mint. So I am on the old seltzers, me like.
Does it not taste like piss though?
No. I'll only do a proper snide one, right? And it's only £1 a can. And,
rocket fuel. That's rocket fuel.
Special.
It's like fizzy Ribena. Lush.
So why do you necking? I'm teetotal. I don't drink alcohol.
Oh.
How'd you live? How'd you live?
By eating.
No alcohol though. How'd you manage that? Painful. I can't imagine a week without whiskey and iron brew.
Mad combo.
I've never been a big drinker anyway, so I can go months without having a beer. Doesn't bother me. It's a very nice, decent cup of tea.
Fair play, because on Sunday I'll be taking vodka through the eyeball if we lose. So.
Right, record that.
Just before we wrap it up, we'll go for scoreline or win and loss if you can't get an exact score. So we'll start with Christian.
I will go with 30-24 Falcons.
30-24. Cal?
Shit. 37-30.
Go on, Mark.
36-21.
Tricky.
24-18 Saints.
James?
28-0 or 28-3.
Oh.
Jesus.
I love it. Oh,
Well, we'll score more than 3, James. I've got faith in the offense. You score more than 3. I don't know. I just think.
Well, we've got a nice mixture of score lines. We're pretty much going to wrap it up, but let's have a look. James, you've got a question before we sign out.
Probably since 03. That was when I saw.
How old are you now? You're not 28, are you? Fucking
29.
That would have gone well, wouldn't it?
Fair play. Yeah, fair play. Right, lads. Thank you all for
1987.
Fucking hell. Me and Cal are brand new to this. We're nowhere near. Jesus Christ. Right. Thank you everyone for coming on, and thank you everyone for watching again. This has been a fucking stupidly long show for us. We usually do half an hour here and there, but what we're actually going to try and do, I've not actually told Cal yet, but I've had suggestions on the DMs and stuff. Everybody wants us to do a pre-game one on Sunday, just a little short one to feel the pain and the hype. So if anybody's available, then we'll put a...
Get my Mickey out again.
Well, to be fair, you never know when it's game day. So
still got to try and find it.
If it's a short one, is it going to end up like an hour again, like something like that?
I hope not, because this was meant to be a short one. But no, it'll be a quick. I'll be too nervous.
We'll literally started at like 5:30 and literally do 20 minutes. But everyone's drinks has got to be in the hand. So Matt will have his bottle of wine next to him.
We'll be on phone. We'll be on phone.
Too nervous, did you just say?
What?
Did you just say I'll be too nervous on Sunday?
Oh no. Well, yeah, you probably will be.
pull your bollocks out of your arsehole, man. It's a rival game, man.
Let's go. Right, everyone. Thank you very much for coming on.
Guys.
Have a good night, everyone. And if anyone's actually interested, England we're 2-0 up at half time last time I checked. So let's go.
I couldn't give it to us.
So right, lads.
Enjoy your one game in the Euros next year.
See you later, boys.
Nice one, lads. See you later.
To the Red
Sunday.
See you later.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Done for the day. See you on Sunday. Let's go, Falcons.